What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? All right, test 1, 2. I had a tab open that had something going, and I couldn't tell what was going on. I'm just like, I'm coming back through the speaker. I'm frightened, mama. I'm frightened. Oh my gosh. Now, how's the volume? This is what I'm definitely concerned with after last night's stream and everything. I was not wild about what happened because my volume kind of was coming out of the speakers, and you guys didn't say anything about it. And I think that's nice on you. It was nice that you were enjoying the broadcast, even with wildly inferior audio. Luckily for you, though, I was recording kind of a separate feed there and everything. So with that, then I can put things in nice and easy later and stuff. So I can do some of the shorts that hopefully you've been seeing if you follow me from any of the social media platforms on YouTube or anything else like that. I'm doing more of those. Those are kind of basically becoming the little trailer for this channel and everything that we're going to be doing, from the regular podcast to my reactions to Twitter trash, as we're calling it, and any other little tiny things, including the subwoofer stuff. And so I've got more of that work, and I was going to do some of that today, but I slept off a little. But that's not really true, because I'm trying to get all this together and everything, because I'm here for you fine folks. And I hit all of my exercise goals early today. So I've about 100% of this bad boy. I got to stand up in the next, like right now. And then I'll have hit it for the day and everything. But I get through all of that all of the time. So, but I got through it early. I got through it early today, so I don't have to do a secondary workout. I can stay with you fine folks for quite some time this evening. And we're going to go over the music's loud, but okay. I will turn that down. Thank you. See, this is what I need. I don't even need that, to be honest. It's done. We're done with you, music. That was more just kind of a placeholder while I was jamming and waiting for things to come in. But yeah, so what was I talking about? Yeah, so I don't know. I'm kind of putting some stuff together. I know what I did today. I edited all those shorts. That's what I was doing. I was trying to think. I'm like, what have I done with my day? Oh yeah, I've edited the shorts and put those up and stuff. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying those as well. And as always, if you're here, man, do me the biggest old favor. Be a dirty baby. Like and subscribe. All those good things. I don't care what platform you're on, where you're doing it. I don't know if things stay there, but somebody on Kick actually made like a little dirty baby icon and everything. I thought that was pretty awesome. But yeah, thanks for everybody for stopping by, tuning in, liking, subscribing, and all that kind of good stuff, and keeping an eye out for all the bull crap that we'll be putting out here in the future. Again, as a reminder up top, we are doing the Fantastic Four all month in July, leading up to the new Fantastic Four film, First Steps. So we'll be covering all of that. Check that out as we go. This week we'll be covering Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer, the second Tim Story Fantastic Four movie. Was it fantastic? Well, it was a four movie. We know that. Well, the second of four movies. Anywho, we'll be talking about that because Silver Surfer's coming up in the new thing, man, and she a lady now, I guess. I don't know too much. I do know that little tiny bit and whatnot. When I went to see Superman, there was a trailer for Fantastic Four. I did not watch. I closed my eyes. I was like, I ain't doing this. We are so close. You're not gonna get me this time. And so I didn't watch it, and it was great. And I kept kind of just like listening to like surround sounds and stuff like that, not really trying to pay attention to any dialogue as best I possibly could. Some of it slips through. It is what it is. But I don't know anything about the movie. My dad, who did watch the trailer, he was right beside me while we were watching the movie and everything, and he watched the trailer and he's like, I'm a little bit more interested. So I'm like, okay, good. That's a good sign for him because he's an OG Fantastic Four fan. So we'll see how all that works out. I'm curious though, but everybody, you never know, man. Some people are saying that movies suck. Some people are saying that things are great. You never can take anything from anybody seriously. Because everybody said the Superman movie sucked. And if you haven't seen my review, go check it out because I don't think Superman was all that bad. I rather enjoyed it. We're going to be doing I think we're going to be doing a Dinger Zone with all of us doing a big giant spoiler filled review of the new Superman movie. And I think we'll put that out here on the YouTube page and stuff as well. So even if you're not a Patreon member, just because, you know, H&P Volume 1 and everything, the long legacy of the program, which is a long legacy. We're 10 years. I know no one's heard of us, but we have been around for a substantial amount of time. But maybe one day we'll get the credit that we all deserve. But again, I want to thank you guys for all stopping by, dropping some chats, all the likes, all the shares. That again, we're the smallest ass channel there is out there. I honestly and truly believe for the quality of work that we put out between the podcast, my videos, and everything else like that, we should easily be 4 times the size that we are, if not bigger than that. And then a lot of that's on me. A lot of that's on me for not really kind of promoting things over the years, and certainly using a lot of copyrighted material and stuff like that. So I've lost out on God knows how much money. You don't think about those things at the time because you don't think I'll ever get monetized. If I ever get monetized, maybe I'll be big enough to where it'll really matter. But what happens is it'll sneak up on you, and then you got 10 years worth of backlog and stuff that you probably could have been making a nickel on at the entire time. I don't know. That's just in life, I always learn things the hard way. There's not a time in my life where I don't learn things the hard way. It's always, college, marriage, jobs. They all, every bit of hard job. Let's say hi to Bronson, everybody. What's up, buddy? I didn't know he was staring right at it like that. So big man. All right. Listen, we'll keep. All right. Listen, that's inappropriate for the internet. Oh my God. Now we're going to get in trouble. I'm on too many different platforms. So I'm going to get banned, man. That ain't no good. All right. So how's everybody doing? Have we liked? Have we subscribed? Have we done all the things? Alex has commented. That's been good. But let's get into it because we got a lot of stuff to cover. I got myself 1.5 Mountain Dew Zeros here to refresh the palate as we're going through. Because today we are talking about Movie Magic. I covered the first episode, the pilot episode of Movie Magic not too long ago. That was a fun time, and has just been a source of entertainment for me. Going back and watching a show, rewatching a show, really, that I watched in the '90s and stuff like that. This was DVD special features and stuff before DVDs even existed. So if you wanted to learn how they did stuff behind the scenes and whatnot, you would either watch like Movie Magic. I know HBO had some kind of a behind the scenes. I think they is so aptly called Behind the Scenes or something like that. There were a couple of little things that you'd see here and there, but there weren't large explorations of how films were made and stuff like that. So there was a show that I'm not sure exactly if we bought the rights from Japan, but as you'll watch, you'll realize it's clearly a show from Japan that we have then taken. I guess they said, hey, Japan wants to know how movies and stuff are made, so they shot some sort of documentary or television series or whatever, showed it over there, and then we were like, hey, well, why don't we buy this? It's already edited, it's already done the things. Most of the people are speaking English in this. So it's not like we even got to worry about any of the translation and stuff like they did. So we'll just take their stuff, put our voiceover and stuff on it, and then Bob's your uncle. You're all up to go. And would be the case for the next we'll call it 40 years worth of television. That's what they've kind of continued to do, is just repackage things from everything. Oh man, CHH is in the house, baby. American Strut. Yeah, I got the telly in the other room. Well, no, it's American. It's Mexican. I'm cheap like that. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, CHH? Look at the number of subscribers I got here. There ain't nobody up in here. That's a cheap old boy. But it's an old boy who means something. You know how that is? You got a guitar that like you've had forever and a day, and like it's not the greatest guitar in the world, but it means something to you. In a weird way, that's all my guitars. That's even the acoustic guitar that's in there. That Yamaha acoustic guitar, there's this piece of garbage. I mean, it's not great. I mean, I don't want to say it's garbage. It's not garbage, but like I've had that thing for almost 30 years. Almost 30 years. I've had that one acoustic guitar. The body of it kind of looks a little bit warped and faded and stuff like that, but means something. I'm telling you, man. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm a wild and crazy guy. I'm all over the place. If I'll listen, nothing will surprise you more than this one, man. My brother is one of the rarest birds there possibly can be. He is like a redneck who does like hunting, fishing, all that kind of crap, outdoors, grilling, all that kind of mess. Also, huge anime fan. Huge anime fan. He was a Warcraft guy forever and a day. We're a dichotomous group, the Portrait. That's not how you do the the combination of our names and everything. Bronson, how's it going over there? We got you going. You're not licking your crotch and stuff anymore. Is that okay? I want to check him out. There he goes. All right. No crotch licking. That's a good thing. All right. Bronson's set. I'm set. I hope you're set. Because we're gonna be checking out. Let me. I wanted to say this real quick because this is important, guys. I think we're in for some bad news. I reviewed Superman. I didn't think it was gonna be this bad, but check this out. Superman right now, international has only made $7. That's rough news, boys. That is rough news. $7. I know James Gunn is shaking in his booties right now because this is not good. Not good. $7. Hey, we'll have him back and he'll be there. But $7, I don't know how you can recover from Hollywood from that. All right, gang, let's get into it. Let me remove this thing. Let me add the screen. And we will get going. Word. All righty, kids. This episode of Movie Magic is all about optical effects. Again, this is something I really like. I love looking back at old special effects and stuff because we also live in a world right now where it's just computers, man. Everybody is just like, hey, we throw it on a computer and there you go. Luckily, we've got horror films and stuff like that where there's still a group of folks out there who are doing physical effects, who are out there, still kind of clinging on to the good fight there and everything with the physical stuff. And I love those guys. But there used to be a day, man, where you just had to kind of, put your nose to the grindstone and figure some crap out. And we're going to take a look back at an episode of Movie Magic. Let's do it. Tell me if you hear this again. It's one of those things. You guys know how it is.
Some of Hollywood's most magical movie moments are created using optical effects.
Like that.
Elements.
See what I mean? You got your Japanese subtitles and stuff there. They just rigged this over and they were like, hey, we'll just put our guy behind it. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Which could never be shot together are filmed separately and then combined seamlessly into a single image.
Now in complete control!
Almost every film ever made contains a number of optical effects.
To a degree. But I will say this. This is one of the cool things. And again, I think this also comes with time and stuff, because I don't know that you would necessarily do this as much today. But Movie Magic would always not only talk about the kind of current effects that were happening at the time while they were filming and everything, but they would also go like, hey, this came from someplace, and they would very often show you kind of some of the history of that. And I think we're going to get a little bit of a taste of that today.
And sometimes that number is in the hundreds. Four-time Academy Award winner Ken Ralston is known as a modern-day master of optical illusions. Today, we'll catch up with Ken as he embarks on a new project at his longtime home, George Lucas's Industrial Light and Magic.
Ever heard of it?
We'll also find out how optical effects help make King Kong come alive.
Oh, see, that's what I said. They're going to go back and give us that kind of old school thing and saying like, hey, here's where things have gone in the past, and here's where we, kind of our current day. I'm going to call this 1992.
And we'll meet the legendary Linwood Dunn, whose optical printer changed the way films were made. Coming up, we unveil the secrets of Hollywood's optical magicians on Movie Magic.
Green Godzilla versus Death Star. Derrick or who's all right, let's do it. Jesus Christ.
While there are many types of optical effects, one of the most widely used is the composite, which involves blending two or more pieces of film into a single image. This process is not as simple as it sounds. In the early days, composite shots for films like The Great Train Robbery were done right inside the camera. Director Edwin S. Porter shot the moving background first, covering a portion of the lens. He then rewound the film, covered the other portion of the lens, and shot the actors.
I mean, like the fact that these guys, put this all together back in the day, and, they had the ingenuity to go like, oh, what we could do? Let's do this. And like they were coming up with magic tricks. And that was one of the very cool things about early cinema, was it was kind of just showing us magic. And the cool thing is this is a magic where, you can only see it from a 2D plane. You're just right here. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. So you can trick people and you can edit. So we were always making magic, even when you go back to the the original Muybridge stuff. Come on, man. What the hell?
In the 1930s, filmmakers began to develop the optical printer as a means of combining images. Linwood Dunn, a cameraman at the time, quickly became known as the finest practitioner of optical effects with films such as King Kong.
I did the optical printing for the studio, and so when I walked in on their stage one day and saw them trying to put shots together in a more difficult way than they could on an optical printer, and I then said, look, you shoot those things separately, and I'll put them together, and if you want to change the contrast or make it lighter or darker, I just run them through again.
That's the best thing, man, when you can come across a guy who's just like, who walks in. I think this is everybody's dream, especially when you're working in stuff like this, is to be able to walk in and have somebody just go, hey, there's a way easier way to do this. And then it just changes everything about your kind of production, your workflow and everything. It just takes one outside set of eyeballs to come in and go, hey, change this maybe. What a great shot.
5 years later, in 1938, Dunn was presented with an especially difficult optical challenge. He had to combine shots of stars Katharine Hepburn and Cary Grant with a full-grown leopard named Baby.
The optical printer was used in bringing up Baby because they found early in the film that the trained leopard was a little too dangerous to have in with the principal actors.
As it turns out, this leopard, you know what he does? He goes over and he starts biting off people's faces. Turns out actors don't want tigers biting off their faces. Oh, no. So we do what we normally do is we go through and we're like, oh, well, can we put him in a cage? No, get an optical printer. That'll do it.
The shot, for example, where up in the hallway, Cary Grant walks through, gets in an elevator, the leopard follows him, and then Hepburn follows the leopard. We're all shot separately. But we always had to shoot the leopard first because we wanted to see how fast he walked.
そして次にグラントだけのショットを撮影し、最後がヘップバーン。
What? Hold on. Did I just have a stroke or do I speak Japanese now? What? Oh, okay.
3つのショットを合成して完成したものがこれです。
I gotta be honest with you. I think the narrator went home for a spell.
I don't want anything to do with a leopard.
Go on, baby, down the stairs.
Wouldn't it be great if all of a sudden Katharine Hepburn started sounding like Toshiro Mifune? That'd be great.
Dunn eventually created complex opticals for nearly 1,000 films, including Cimarron, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and Orson Welles' Citizen Kane.
I just love seeing the subtitles.
On Citizen Kane, when Orson Welles came to the studio,
I love this old school New York accent here. It's just so good.
Of course, he never heard of an optical.
He never heard of this optical printer. I say you a dummy is what it is.
Printer, and finally one day we introduced him to it and let him know that it was a magic machine and there many things could be done with it. Yeah. He would ask for actually ridiculous things that from a practical standpoint you wouldn't attempt them. And I would say, no, you can't, it isn't practical to do. And he'd say to me, is it impossible? And I'd say, nothing's impossible. It's just a matter of time and money.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we used to be. We used to be this. Where Orson Welles is 27 years old when he's doing this. 27. He's absolutely just reinventing cinema, adding new languages and stuff to it at that age. And he's pushing these other guys to do better at their job. And again, instead of saying, oh, we can't do that, he's just like, oh, again, a little time and money, but yeah, we can do it. These guys were pushing the limits, and it's not pushing the limits by looking at somebody, over in a computer lab and going, you've got by Thursday to finish this. It's not that, It's not push a little bit harder and look kind of cheesy or crummy or whatever. Look at Citizen Kane, like I said, well, all the optical effects and everything that are in Citizen Kane, that you don't realize because they're so damn seamless, from 1944, I believe, if memory serves. It's nuts.
So I got into a realm in optical printing that I never had before, and in most all cases, it came out successfully.
Every independent poll shows that I'll be elected.
For this scene, Dunn used his optical printer to combine live-action elements of Welles, the people in the aisles, and actor Ray Collins with matte paintings of the poster of Welles and the seated audience.
It's insane.
One of the more interesting shots recreated in post-production was the one where the camera went up the side of the building in the storm, over the roof,
and how, like, I learned this from Ebert, like this sign here like separates in the middle as it goes through it. I'm telling you, when you figure out what's going on and you see all the magic that is happening as it is happening within Citizen Kane, you can't help but be in awe of it.
Through the skylight down into the nightclub. They were two separate scenes, and when Wells wanted to combine it into a continuous scene, I introduced a synthetic lightning flash on the optical printer, combined it by an out of focus mix with the reverse zoom going down into the nightclub.
It's all boom, you're good to go.
By the year 1942, dozens of optical printers were in use in Hollywood. Each one of these printers was custom designed. Linwood Dunn was hired to create an optical printer which could be mass-produced by the military.
The need for an optical printer in the training films in World War II became very apparent when directors like Frank Capra got into the service in the Signal Corps. And they were commissioned to make certain kind of training films and propaganda films. And so they were used to having the certain sophistication that motion pictures have. They couldn't order them because it was not a shelf item like a camera. So Kodak commissioned me to design printers and see that they were manufactured for the United States government.
The Acme Dunn optical printer quickly became the standard, and Dunn was honored with an Academy Technical Achievement Award, which was upgraded to an Oscar in 1981.
I believe I've been very lucky in my career because it covered a good many years from the silent days through sound and into all this new technology. But I think the most rewarding part of it is the number of wonderful people that I've worked with. I loved what I did, and I have the benefit of tremendous satisfaction.
You definitely need all the optical printing and everything for your Star Treks. Like I said, man, it's the magic tricks that we've been doing since nearly the dawn of cinema. So cool.
Satisfaction because I can look on the screen today and see things I did.
リンウッド・ダンは50年間近くも
Oh no, I had a Japanese stroke again.
オプティカル効果に携わり、数々の名シーンを生み出しました。彼がス
King of Kong.
クリーンに残したものこそ、まさにムービーマジックと言えるでしょう。ダンの功績を今日に引き継ぐのが、ジョージ・ルーカス主催の特殊効果プロダクション。
It'd be great if the American guy was just like, "Hey, what the hell are you doing in here?" He's just here busted into the recording room.
アストリアルライト&マジック、略して ILM。ここで使われているオプティカルプリンターは、撮影済みのフィルムを写す2つの映写機と。
It's always my favorite part of Japanese, where there was like I was listening to a lot of kind of like broken Japanese and stuff because my ex-wife spoke Japanese, was not Japanese but spoke it. But like it's always funny when you just get into like the real English word, but it's said in that Japanese dialect and everything. Yeah, optical printer.
This printer is a special piece of equipment that was built by Industrial Light and Magic and was originally used on Empire Strikes Back.
The printer
Independent film, Empire.
Consists of two projector heads which beam previously shot footage and a camera that re-photographs the images and combines them together one frame at a time. This scene from Return of the Jedi was created by combining a shot of Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia on a speeder bike with a separately filmed background. Industrial Light and Magic optical supervisor John Ellis was an optical cameraman on this action.
So, like, you can understand why these prints and stuff look a little bit janky, after some time, They were put together with Scotch tape and dreams.
Packed sequence.
The background was shot with a camera mounted on a Steadicam, and the Steadicam allowed the operator to walk through the forest and not get the vibrations up and down of a person walking. The actors were shot here at ILM in our stage against the blue screen. That allows us to make elements that would later be used in compositing the actors into the background that has been speeded up. After the elements are shot, elements are brought into the optical department. We will
Chuck's like, what am I doing with my hands? All right, I can lean on the projector here like it's a bit of a Corvette. What do I do with the other one? Put it in my pocket? No, we're not doing that. Just put it right here, letting you know that I address to the left or to the right.
Composite them here on this optical printer. If we just simply double expose the two images, we'd have a ghost image, or you would see through the trees, you'd see through the speeder bikes. So we have to go through a matting process to hold the area where we want to put.
Again, to me, the part that is so cool is like how close to this process it still is today. That's the cool thing, is that like while it's changed, it also hasn't.
The people back in.
The matting process that John utilizes involves 3 steps. First, he must imprint a silhouette of the speeder bikes called a holdout mat onto the tree background. Next, the blue background is removed from the speeder bike shot. Finally, the isolated speeder bikes are printed onto the background, replacing the silhouette and completing the shot.
This was the unfinished side, and it's used a lot of brass bits and pieces.
ジェダイの復讐で特殊効果スーパーバイザーを務めたケン・
Supervisor. See what I'm saying?
ローストン。彼はリンウッド・ダンと同じくオプティカルプリンター。
One of Return of the Jedi's effects supervisors was Ken Ralston. After winning an Academy Award for Jedi, Ken went on to capture 3 more Oscars for Cocoon, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and the effects-driven comedy Death Becomes Her.
Oh, those lightweight films? Man, not a bad resume there, would you say?
I have a
Has anybody seen Death Becomes Her in some time? Does that hold up? I feel like, I don't know if it was that or something else. One of these other kinds of movies that got a 4K release not too long ago. I don't know if this was one of them.
background that I understand all the different effects that can be done. And it's just a matter of knowing what those can accomplish and what best benefits a particular shot.
You know, they had to edit out him flipping the bird with that thing a whole bunch, right?
Ken started experimenting with optical effects as a teenager with his no-budget film, The Bounds of Imagination.
The Bounds of Imagination was shot when I was 14 years old, on weekends and every spare moment we had. It was all 8mm, and essentially it started off with a friend, Glenn Anderson, and myself, just wanting to do some kind of a project that encompassed a lot of different effects.
This is what happened when we didn't have the internet. Kids did stuff. They just had an 8mm camera, and they're just like, I'm going to make a little alien come alive. Why? Because they didn't have the bloody internet. They didn't have something to do. They didn't have this bull crap to do. Because we could be animating a little slug right now, but we're watching somebody else do it from we'll call it 63.
Effects work. But we flipped a coin to see who would be in the show. Unfortunately, I won the toss or lost the toss, so I had to be in it. So we were just going crazy. We had all these split screens in it and double exposures. We had to run off into the closet, back the film up by hand, and started at the first part of each roll, and then time back to where we thought our split screens would take place.
In the early 1970s, just out of high school, Ken worked on television commercials for Cascade Pictures. While helping create these effect scenes, he met an effects artist named Dennis Murin, who soon...
Oh, that little guy, Dennis Murin. By the way, I've seen Dennis Murin in real life. Not a little guy. Dennis Murin is taller than I am, man. I would say Dennis Murin's a good 6'5", 6'6", huge dude. I saw him just coming out of the Robot Chicken panel. Actually, the Robot Chicken panel was still kind of technically just letting out and everything. And then for whatever reason, no one was at this panel. No one was at this panel this year. It was in Indianapolis for Celebration 3. No one was there. You all right, bud? Nobody was there for the Robot Chicken panel. They let out and everything. And wouldn't you know it, as I'm walking towards the exit door there and everything, right past me goes Dennis Murin. And I did a double take, because I'm a nerd. I know what this guy looks like. He's a big dude, but you've seen him in tons of special features and stuff like that. So you're just like, holy shit, it's Dennis Murin. And by the time that, I was already gone and he was gone, it was nuts. I was like, it's just a nerd thing that, like, if 99% of people saw that guy that just be like, oh, who's the old bald dude with white hair? Not me, boy. I'm going, that's one of the special effects guys of all time, boy.
Who moved on to work with George Lucas.
After a while, Dennis got some script for some obscure film called Star Wars, and they wanted him to work on it. And we were reading the script, and we were just laughing because we would all want to write the same kind of science fiction script, but who would make something so big? Dennis brought me on as a camera assistant. We had no idea what Star Wars would turn into. It floored us. It was absolutely the greatest experience.
Following the success of Star Wars, Ken worked as an effects cameraman on The Empire Strikes Back. 3 years later, he rose to the rank of effects supervisor on The Return of the Jedi. As their reputation grew, Ken Ralston and ILM were called on to create ever more difficult composite shots. In this scene from Back to the Future 2,
Again, think about the time frame that we're doing this and how seamless Back to the Future 2 still looks to this day. Now, granted, some optical effects have been helped out a little bit, to be frank. But come on.
Michael J. Fox appears as 3 different characters. To achieve this effect, Fox would perform as one character, have his makeup changed, and then perform another role on the same set. The 3 performances were then combined together and printed onto a single piece of film.
The pizza shot went on for 3 days, and we had to be on top of every little nuance going on in these shots to make it work.
Amazing.
Ken Ralston is an effects artist who specializes in compositing multiple images. His Academy...
That must have been when we came back from a commercial. Because all of a sudden they're just recapping some stuff that you just heard.
The award-winning work in Death Becomes Her utilized his background in optical effects, along with cutting-edge digital technology.
The whole shots in Goldie Hawn, the ones that seem to need the computer graphics the most are the real beauty shots, the close-ups, where you really see the texture inside the hole, even though it's a subtle effect.
This experience with digital technology is becoming increasingly necessary for effect shots that are ever more complex.
And eventually it'll go from necessary to obligatory. You have to do it. It's the only thing that'll do it. You want why would you have actual blood in a horror film when you can do it digitally? Because if you got to clean it up, you can only do it, so many times.
It might be nicer to get more happening in here so we could do more, bend his arm a little bit more. So it's not just such a stiff feeling like that. Out of all the puppets we have, this one has the potential to do a little more movement than some of them do.
So watch him at night.
Today, Ken is starting work on a big-budget television commercial about a toy army that attacks a refrigerator filled with Perrier's sparkling water.
Man, the fight over Perrier is one for the ages.
This will require several live-action elements, such as animated dolls, a bicycle, and a toy car. These elements will be integrated with toy soldiers created as computer-generated imagery, or CGI. This will require some...
Wouldn't it fun that we live in a world where they still had to say CGI to let you know what it was?
Elaborate compositing techniques. Ken first meets with producer Clint Goldman and production designer Harley Jessup to plan how the effects will be executed.
I think the worst part about this is as you guys are watching it, you're seeing all the work that's going into it. Does anyone think that this is going to be a good ad?
はじめにプロデューサーと美術監督を交えて使用する特殊効果について話し合います。
The bicyclists will be blue screen rod puppets.
I was going to say, do you think it would help at all to shoot the bicycle in the actual shot instead of shooting it against blue screen?
I would love to shoot it in the set, but the sets will have to make the bicyclist larger scale than the set just to get the rod puppet.
Are you trying to make me do everything again, Jimmy? How many Academy Awards do you have, Jimmy? I bet it's not 4. I'm going the blue screen.
It's to work, so we'll have to shoot on blue screen and mat them in later.
It's great working with Ken. One, because it's fun. He's really funny. The other is that technically he knows what he's doing. Any image is possible to get.
I know he don't mean it this way, and he's a bit of a nerd, but technically he knows what he's doing. I don't know, though.
With him, and it just makes it, for an art director, really exciting.
After looking over the storyboards, Ken works with ILM model makers to produce the collection of toys which will be brought to life.
Have him be more active, like he's sitting here and then he runs back here and he sneaks out here and he runs in and he sneaks out here and he's just kind of trying to get a peek through all this stuff.
Ken
look at him just going, can we go to lunch?
engages model maker Richard Miller to produce another of the show's characters, a mechanical antique doll. The doll's design is based on a series of concept drawings.
She's also going to be in the last shot in the commercial, and Richard sculpting her up, the mechanical puppet to be used out of modeling clay and then cast it in.
Now, Richard, I'm not going to catch you kissing this model later tonight, will I? No, I told you that only happened once.
Shell. So you put the mechanics in the inside.
The eyes will move.
This is a radio-controlled eye mechanism for our doll's eye movement. What happens is
I insist that they watch me while I'm doing my work.
This transmitter will send a signal to this little motor, and the motor turns the arm, which in turn rotates these eyes right and left.
Rolling, right?
So what this means is we don't have to have rods or anything going into the head. We can just, by way of moving these joysticks on the transmitter here, we can have control.
88 miles per hour. How's it going, Bronson?
Control over that.
The doll will ride in a model Citron fabricated by veteran ILM model maker Ira Keeler.
Like it's chrome-plated tin on the toy.
Mm-hmm.
Because
that's fine. The more toy-like, the better. We're going to shoot this car blue screen. Camera will be on this side looking at it. We'll have a nice chassis bounce to it, so it looks like it's having some trouble.
This doll will drive the Citron. His head and arms.
I like the look of this guy. Don't know why I like it, but I like it. Maybe it's the mustache. Maybe it's the do-rag. Maybe it's the I don't know. Something about him. Something about this driver I like.
Will move in the shot.
His arms are flexible, so the wheel actually does the work, so it looks like he's steering. And the head will be rod puppeted to do a little turning. He doesn't do much action.
Another important model is a Tour de France bicycle.
This doesn't look finished.
That's just a bike. Come on, let's not kid ourselves here. This is a Tour de France bicycle. What by what metric?
Because we're deliberately making it look rough and like a.
Oh yeah, just like look at that. Look at that. It screams Tour de France.
A lead sculpture here.
Once complete, the car, bicycle, and dolls are filmed in front of a blue screen. The blue screen will later be replaced with the background shot. But for this composite,
the blue screen will later be replaced with Toni Collette.
A computer will be used to combine the elements instead of an optical printer.
Any of this is fine. He's just kind of looking around.
With an optical printer, the blue screen is removed photographically. But that requires composited film to be developed before the composite shot can be seen.
Jeez.
Digital compositing allows every step of the process to be displayed on screen instantaneously.
Again, good things, bad things. There's all that is under the sun.
背景や他の画像の操作もできます。
Oh, Japanese stroke.
合成過程の一部始終を即座にモニターで見ることができるわけです。
In optical, if you have an error on your mat, you have to go back and spend an entire day rebuilding all your different elements. In digital, you can see an error and immediately correct it. So the time is reduced tremendously on how long it takes to do a shot.
It really has been, like, I will say that as somebody who's kind of going through as far as editing and stuff goes from the analog kind of tape to tape days over to digital and stuff like that. While there is something nice and romantic about kind of tape to tape and the analog fashion of doing it and everything, boy, oh boy, for speed and comfort, there ain't nothing quite like digital.
That's perfect. Perfect. Send it, ship it, final. Yow.
While most of the elements in this commercial...
Yow. Oh my God. There's some optical effects in the house. Oh.
Commercial are physical models shot blue screen, Ken has decided that the toy soldier will be created as computer-generated imagery. This allows
What's
the
going to be the worst looking thing out of everything that is in this program?
animators to make one soldier and then use the computer to replicate it into an entire army. The challenge begins in ILM's model shop, where Richard Miller fabricates a model soldier.
The challenge begins in the ILM lab shops, where Richard can't stop farting.
These are photographs of a 12-inch maquette, which is a sculpture that Richard Miller did and Harley painted up for the basic idea of what the lead soldiers will look like, even though they'll only be scaled to this. They'll probably be about that high.
What's the difference between a maquette and like a statue? You know, you hear the word maquette, and I'm like, I don't know what that means per se. You know that in the chat? Let me know. I don't know.
And this gives computer graphics a starting point as to how the sculpture should look in its design.
Next, the model is scanned into a computer to create a three-dimensional image of the soldier.
How to work this thing.
Computer graphics supervisor Doug Smythe.
Doug, you don't want to have "I don't know how to work this thing" be the first sound on tape for you, my friend.
And animator Joe Pasquale add color, detail, and motion to the figure.
Something
He's an animated figure.
strange about our arm action here, even though you've matched it to what they were doing.
It's a bit extreme in the forward position, I think. It almost looks like they're hyperextending or
Yeah,
popping their elbows.
this one especially. He's not swinging out
Why does this one got sass?
all the way back. He's just going like that, like he's got a kink in his arms.
With Ken's input, the CGI team completes the animation.
It's not bad. Look, so we got like the guys here. There's their shadows on the desk itself. There's the reflection of them on the table. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for as early, whatever 90s that this is. Pretty good.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love what the shadows are doing here. That's really great. Working how the lights are
Shadows,
shifting around like
reflections,
that.
it's good stuff.
The last element needed to complete the commercial is the sparkling water itself.
We shoot it locked off slightly wider than what this is, but this is a good starting point to get these measurements down.
Once the soldiers attack the refrigerator, the bottles will explode, drenching all the toys with a sparkling shower.
Okay, we go.
I'm just going to keep it PG.
Ready and action.
A pressurized system is used to create this physical effect, which is filmed on a high-speed camera at 120 frames per second.
I like how today that is just like your iPhone can do 120 frames a second like nobody's business. 4K. Isn't that crazy? Like what are they doing? Like well over 1,000 frame a second cameras? I don't know how you pull that shit off. Sounds like voodoo to me.
When the film is slowed down to 24 frames per second, the blast of water will appear slow enough for the scene.
That wasn't bad. That was real nice. Good. And at 120, we got plenty to use. Yeah.
Finally, all of the CGI and live-action elements are combined together digitally. This involves transferring all of the isolated elements onto computer and then matting each element onto the background.
I admit it looks pretty good.
The result is a perfectly rendered CGI army brought to life in a mechanical toyland of epic proportions.
A couple shots are like meh, like that,
CGI.
That's okay.
Army brought
this is fair. This could be better.
To life in a mechanical toyland of epic proportions.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. This is so. That's not good.
At ILM, the spectacular has become the expected. But that doesn't stop Ken Ralston and his cohorts from continuing to look forward.
Perrier, these little monsters will bite your face off.
And you're always trying to push that envelope, give the audience and the production people something that will, be unique. And trying to find that next unique image is a constant challenge. And I think that keeps us.
You guys remember it. It's Where's the Beef, Got Milk, and this Perrier commercial with these weird little, clay faces going around. Whatever. That sounds like a slur, doesn't it?
those juices flowing, and it's what drives us crazy, and I think it's what
Oh, my
inspires us
word.
the most.
My word. All right. Exactly. No one ever saw that commercial. It wasn't one that we all thought was something that was important. What are some of your favorite commercials, man? Because I got a few, and because I remember we'll put a link for all these and stuff in the final show notes and whatnot. So that's our first episode of Movie Magic. I don't know what's next. I haven't looked. Everybody's still here. We doing good? All right. Patreon.com/HMP. This week, like I said, we are going to be doing the Dinger Zone live, I believe. Where we'll be talking a big, giant spoiler review of Superman and everything. So keep that in mind. What time we're doing, I'm not 1,000% sure, but we'll do it eventually. And my guess is probably somewhere in the... I'm going to probably try to shoot for a little bit early because Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, that'll take like an hour. And then I figure we might end up talking Superman for about an hour as well. So because I don't got a lot to say. If you've seen the YouTube page, you've seen most of my thoughts on it. But I've got some more, and I can't wait to see what the boys are going to say and what their reaction is going to be. Because it's been mixed, man. Some people friggin' hate this dude. They hate it. Okay. I got a couple of options for our second episode. Want to get some thoughts. See what might interest you more, one more than the other. Let me see if I can put it up in the... There we go. Bloop. All right, so we got the next one's up here. We got creature articulation. Creature articulation. Not 1,000% sure what that means. We have miniature explosions, forced perspective, no CGI, ride films, riding in movies, action miniatures. So we got a couple of options here. Any of those strike a fancy? I'm down for anything here. Since you guys are hanging out, appreciate you. All right. Methinks I'll just roll with miniature explosions. Explosions are fun. Let's get this volume up.
The destruction of the Death Star pinned us to our theater seats and gave Star Wars a battle of galactic proportions. The explosive incineration of this gas tanker thrilled us with its magnitude, so devastating that only a Terminator could survive. These giant explosions remain forever vivid in our minds. But in the world of movie magic, they are actually baby blasts, created by the masters of miniature pyrotechnics. Today, we'll meet two of the best and learn the secrets of their intricate and dangerous craft. And we'll witness the creation of a spectacular helicopter crash for Cliffhanger, that has Sylvester Stallone hanging on for dear life. So take a journey to the edge of creative destruction, to the world of miniature pyrotechnics, where the smallest blast will blow you away on Movie Magic.
Man, this is another thing, dude. This is another one. Talk about something we are missing today is actual explosions and stuff in movies. The last ones you really remember, I would say, were like Mad Max Fury Road. Like those were the last time I remember seeing a lot of like real honest to God fireballs and stuff. There's not a ton of like so much of the explosions and stuff are all CGI these days. It's bad news. Oh, let's go.
Action!
In Cliffhanger, Sylvester Stallone stars as a mountain rescuer battling ruthless criminals and unforgiving elements. Live-action photography began at an elevation of 13,000 feet in the Italian Alps and continues here at Cinecittà Studios in Rome.
A Cinecittà.
2, 3, 4, 5, go!
At the helm is the director of Die Hard 2, Rennie Harlan.
I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, now. Well, now we start propelling.
If you haven't, listened to Rennie Harlan's story about how kind of Stallone came to him and more or less begged him to do this movie. Stallone was in the doldrums of his career and everything at this point, and he needed a hit. Bad news, man. And so he was coming in and like, you know, he had a dinner with or lunch or whatnot with Rennie Harlan. And like Rennie Harlan was not like excited to give him anything. He was just like, listen, I'm just going to be a nice guy. I'm going to listen to him and whatever. And Stallone was like, for changing Stallone's life and everything, he was humble. He was quiet. He was just like, hey man, listen, it's been a rough go for me. I really need this. And you know, he won him over.
Then we hit the end of the rope and that's where the line plays.
The way I work is when I have a screenplay, I draw storyboards, usually thousands of illustrations of different shots and different scenes. I illustrate every shot that I'm going to put in the movie.
When the shot calls for a climactic helicopter crash, the storyboards go to Boss Film Studios in Los Angeles, which is producing the movie's visual effects.
And what Rennie wants in this scene is not just a simple crash of an aircraft hitting the side of a mountain.
And what Rennie wants, Rennie gets.
What he wants is the helicopter to be actually snagged or caught with this cable and ladder on the side of the cliff. During this action, Stallone falls to the helicopter and he proceeds to having a very big fight with John Lithgow. During the fight, the whole ladder starts breaking loose. So the whole fight takes place on a 3,000-foot cliff on the belly of a helicopter that's slowly jerking down the side of the cliff. And eventually, it does finish its fall.
With credits that include Batman Returns,
never heard of it,
Alien 3, Ghostbusters, and 2010, Boss Film Studios has created hundreds of innovative visual effects since it was founded in 1983 by Richard Edlund. For Cliffhanger, a 60-foot miniature cliff face is built in sections in the Boss shop and then assembled outdoors for filming. This construction of wood, chicken wire, and urethane foam duplicates the actual mountain in the Alps where the live-action filming took place.
Again, we used to.
The reason we have to use miniatures,
stuff like this. The last people that did things of this nature to a large degree and stuff like that was Peter Jackson and Lord of the Rings. Man, nobody else is doing this crap afterwards. It's nuts.
At all is because it's a very, very dangerous stunt. The helicopter has to slam into the side of the cliff face. Most cliff faces are in national parks, even in the United States. Italy is the same thing, so they won't permit that type of activity. Even,
but if you don't tell them, they don't really care, you know.
if it was safe enough to do.
His position and size will be lined up.
With any miniature shot, the challenge is to match the live action so the two intercut seamlessly.
Just ask Lloyd Kaufman.
Another large part of the whole shoot is the pyrotechnics that are going to be involved with this miniature, not just for the sake of an explosion, but to cause destruction within the model to replicate impact.
For this, Voss calls on the specialized expertise of Thane Morris, a 30-year Hollywood veteran and master of miniature pyro.
1, 2, 3.
At this pyrotechnics seminar for fire safety officers at George Lucas's Skywalker Ranch, Thane demonstrates the dangers of his craft.
With special effects pyrotechnics, you're allowed one mistake. That's the one.
You're allowed one mistake and you're dead.
When you made when you got into the business. After that, all bets are off.
One of the most widely used pyro materials is primacord, a wire-like explosive that burns at 22,000 feet per second.
Primacord is used for breaking apart things that you can't normally break apart.
Thane has a degree in chemistry and holds a first-class pyrotechnics license from the California State Fire Marshal's Office.
That's a thing you can get? Huh.
He is also president of MP Associates, one of the premier manufacturers of pyrotechnic products for the entertainment industry.
And he's an amazing lover.
While Thane has created many full-scale explosions, his smallest blasts, such as this work on Die Hard, have drawn the biggest acclaim.
Anybody can go out and blow up a car fairly well.
Hey, I'm blowing up Nakatomi Plaza.
With miniatures, you have to use tiny...
Holy smokes. Thane Morris, you glorious son of a gun. Look at that stash. My word. You know what's probably more amazing? This guy's probably been married for 45 years. Woo! Lordy. And the glasses. I don't think we ever thought these kind of glasses would come back in style, did we? What did we used to call those glasses? Just saying.
I mean, many small explosions, and therefore it becomes more...
He's got all his fingers, so he's doing something right.
Technically difficult.
The helicopter crash and cliffhanger.
No, not aviators. I'm talking about like whatever this. It's a different thing when you get into like this kind of style with the clear, like the clear frames and stuff themselves. The specific little notch that you got right there, the little hole with them right now, all of that shit that we just wore in the early 80s and stuff like that. That's, you know, early and late 80s and stuff like that. That's I don't know why.
Put Thane's knowledge and experience to the test. In the Boss model shop, Pat McClung and his crew are putting finishing touches on 4 1/6 scale models of the Huey Air Rescue helicopter. These are exact replicas of the chopper used in the live-action shots in Italy. One of the models is readied for a camera test to determine the optimum film speed.
We don't know what it's going to do yet, but it has to
It's going to be a helicopter. What are you talking about? It's not going to turn into an elephant or something.
end up coming off the cliff face, and it's been snagged by the cable. It stalls and just falls. But when it falls, it has to end up upside down and flat against the cliff like that up there.
Is everybody set? Okay, go ahead and stuff it up. Roll camera.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is to make the scale model look full size, creating the illusion of greater mass and density. This is accomplished by over-cranking, running the camera faster than the normal film speed of 24 frames per second. Compare the look of the model's fall at normal speed with these shots filmed at between 140 and 160 frames per second.
Usually there's a formula to determine it, and it's roughly whatever scale the model is. If it's 1/10 scale.
And what you're not thinking about here as well is they're also very much selling you with the sound. when you've got that slowed down chopper blade sound and everything, that's also just kind of filling in that other half there, because it's a big chunky sound. It's not the sound that was on, set there while they were flopping around the model and everything. They've got this beefy blade sound in there and everything, selling it to you as it's slowly falling. And it's a dramatic point in the film, so it makes nothing but sense that it would kind of fall in like this slow fashion and stuff, and it helps sell it.
Well, you roughly want to be 10 times camera speed, but that doesn't really get you to where you want to be. And what really nails the camera speed is testing.
This camera test will be sent to Rennie Harlan for approval as Thane and crew prepare for the shooting days ahead. It was in the serials of the 30s and 40s that miniature pyro took center stage. Howard and Theodore Lydecker headed the special effects department at Republic Pictures and set a new standard for miniature explosions, fires, and crashes.
Look out!
Today it would just be CGI. So sad.
Looks like the supply trains are moving.
The Lydeckers submitted their 1942 picture Flying Tigers to the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences for Oscar consideration. But the awards committee couldn't believe that most of the shots were filmed in miniature.
That's when you know you're killing it, boy. When you throw your movie to the Academy and they just go, "What special effects? What are you talking about?" Not too shabby, says I. Man, if you can make them just go like, "Oh, we don't even know." And we talked about that when we're talking about our Coming to America episode with Rick Baker and his amazing makeup effects on that movie, and how some Academy members rather, some of those Academy members just didn't realize that people were in makeup. That, oh yeah, Eddie Murphy's this guy. Oh yeah, Eddie Murphy's also this guy. Arsenio's this guy. Arsenio's also this guy. Big difference.
The 1953 movie War of the Worlds furthered the art of mini pyro. The Martian attack on Los Angeles provided inspiration to a new generation of effects wizards.
Back at those Saturday afternoon matinees, one of the films that I did see was War of the Worlds. There were certain scenes like City Hall that blew up, and I thought for sure they actually went down there and blew it up, and then they rebuilt it. That influence was the greatest probably of my entire career. Eventually, the day came when I lived out.
Super great little explosions and miniature work here.
Of my childhood fantasy of creating my own take of the War of the Worlds. This was when I did all the miniature pyrotechnics for a future war sequence in Terminator 2, Jim Cameron's film.
Today, Joe Viscoso is a master of miniature pyro, with credits on several blockbusters. But his start came on a low-budget feature called Flash Gordon.
They needed somebody to blow up the castle for the ending of the film. I said I had to get...
Did he say Flash Gordon or am I bananas? And I thought he said Flash Gordon. That sounds like a naughty film.
Charges small enough to make it look big. And one of the things that caught my mind were these little plastic containers that you find in the gumball machines. They have the prizes inside. It was a perfect size for that kind of model.
The castle explosion turned out so well that Joe soon got another miniature pyro job, this time on a movie called Star Wars.
While not having ever seen an explosion in outer space, I just had to start thinking about what is zero gravity and what would happen if an explosion went off in space. I think it would go everywhere. So
technically, I think they say it would go nowhere. It wouldn't be a thing. But I hate people that are like that. Your old Neil deGrasse Tysons and whatnot that'll just be like, explosions can't happen in space. How about you just shut up? Shut up, Neil. Does nobody want to hear your dumbass take on this? Well, it's because it's science fiction. Shut up. Ain't nobody saying this is a documentary. I think it's... No one wants to hear it, Neil. Shut your mouth.
Started testing, and this is when I came up with the zero gravity explosion process. This is where...
Zero Gravity Explosion Process is an amazing prog rock band name. Just saying.
One puts the camera on the floor, shooting straight up at the ceiling. In between the ceiling and the camera, we have the charge itself. When that charge goes off, it will be coming down and raining evenly over the camera so it'll look like you're going through the explosion.
You know, I never really thought about that.
When I went to see this film for the first time with an audience, it was at the Grauman's Chinese Theater. When the Death Star went off, I'll never forget the people applauding and screaming, and I thought to myself,
It doesn't have some dumbass circle around it. I hate that circle, man. Hate it.
This is taking me back to my old days at the Saturday afternoon matinees.
During the production of The Empire Strikes Back, Joe worked with pyro expert Thane Morris. Together and apart, these two specialists have developed miniature pyrotechnics into a fine art. Thane's current challenge is the multi-step helicopter crash for Cliffhanger.
That's one of the good things that I like about movie magic is how they just kind of interweave all this stuff together, and then we're right back at Cliffhanger.
In looking at the cut that they just showed us, this whole thing shattering, we have this jagged. We're taking out.
Yeah, it's in the back here.
Into a big chunk. Like this.
Hopefully, by tying this in with wire, that's what you'll get.
Thane has rigged the model with 8 inches of fine-grained primacord to cut the tail off, a smoke bomb to indicate the engine has caught fire.
Nice.
And a series of mortars, small charges placed in metal tubes, to blow out the front windows. A timing device in the model starts the sequence by igniting the smoke bomb. 3 seconds later, a device known as a...
Nah, Jimmy, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put it into a computer and have the computer go explode. Hit the explode button, and the computer, then the helicopter going to explode, and then we just go to print.
Pelican hook releases the helicopter into its fall toward the cliff, at the same time activating an impact-sensitive switch. When the chopper hits the cliff, the switch triggers the primacord and mortars.
Trip, we're fired.
We're trying to get 2 shots at once, and we have a straight down view. The chopper coming in, hitting the wall, and at the same time, we're around to the front, seeing the wall and the helicopter slamming into it. Both of them are high speed. They're around 150 frames a second.
By knowing the frame rate that Neo shoots at, then I time the explosion so that they bang, bang, bang off, so that it looks like a continuous explosion.
Thane has set off literally thousands of miniature explosions.
I thought he was going to say, Thane has literally had thousands of tickets. Though no court in the land has yet to convict him.
But it's never routine. Each shot offers a unique challenge.
This one is getting the impact switch sensitive enough that it'll go off when it hits the wall, and not sensitive enough that it goes off before it hits the wall.
Neil is anxious to get started. He is working within a 2-hour window when the sun's position matches the live action shots from the Italian Alps. Finally, everything's ready for an actual take.
Damn it!
The model exploded before hitting the cliff, so
I was right. I just got to guess at it.
This take is no good.
Blew up on release.
Yeah.
Well, that's 6 more months of building a helicopter, boys. Back to work.
So we got one of those.
Yeah. We want to do one thing, and this time is have you go over the double.
Make it a little less sensitive. We got to get it up right away.
With less than an hour before the sunlight is gone, Thane must quickly rig another model for a second take.
Man.
When a director or producer asks me how many takes it's going to take to get a shot, the answer is always a minimum of 3. 1 to get rid of the mistakes, 1 for the camera, and 1 just for insurance.
Go ahead and start it. And roll. Action.
Don't throw it up this time, Jake. There you go, you son of a bitch. I finally did it.
The consensus is this take will work.
You did not say that with confidence. The consensus is this take will work. You know.
The effects crew needs one more shot. But since the sun has moved off the set, they must postpone this most important.
The funny part is you don't have to worry about anything else. You can still put Sylvester Stallone on the top of that helicopter and it would have been fine. Still regular scale.
Explosion until tomorrow.
Oh my God. This dog is farting, man. Holy cow. Dude, not cool, man. Oh, dude. Whew. Oh, we might have to take him out after this episode. Holy jeez, buddy. That is bad news.
Many of Hollywood's most unforgettable blasts have been created by miniature pyrotechnics. Explosions too costly to film full scale. Or, as with this gas tanker in the Terminator, simply too dangerous.
I will say this. This is very cool how they did this. I saw all about this on the Terminator 4K that just recently came out. Fantastic. It looks great, unlike the other James Cameron films. The folks over at Warner Brothers, what's it called? Give a Crap. And they put together a really, really great 4K transfer there and everything. Seeing how they did this is really cool. And seeing how they also then, and I say they meaning WB and all the people that were doing the scan and whatnot, really took the time to bring that composite back and make it look really solid for the most part. It's a little jank here and there in some cases, but that was also kind of done with rear projection and stuff like that. So there's certain things that they can't quite fix to a degree or another, but definitely worth checking out those special features on that Terminator disc if you haven't.
Originally, they were going to blow up a full-size tanker truck, but unfortunately, they were shooting in front of a police armory downtown where they keep the helicopters and all the ammunition and what have you.
Not surprisingly, the necessary permits were not granted, so the shot had to be done in miniature.
Jim Cameron contacted Fantasy 2 in Burbank, California, to construct 2 7-foot-long, 1.5-foot-high tanker trucks.
See, at least they were smart and go make 2 of them, because God knows.
Placed 42 separate charges.
I heard that too, man. Helicopters, like there's like a certain, like his dad must have been like a really old school cat and something like that said helicopters all the time. That's like a Mr. Burnsism.
In the tanker truck itself, a little detonation cord and about 3 gallons of gasoline total. There are a lot of variables to be considered. The scale of the miniature, what the miniature is made out of.
How many beers you had for lunch,
The speed of the film that is going through the camera, the size of the charges, how the charges are wrapped, and what kind of chemicals are being used. What it all really comes down to, though, is that every shot is different and a new set of problems have to be solved.
For this explosion, Joe timed the charges to go off in 3/4 of a second, starting from the back of the tanker truck and moving forward.
It really is a great explosion. When you watch that movie, it is just like quality cinema, boy. That sucker, it's just like, yeah, they blew that sucker up good.
3 cameras were rolling all at 120 frames per second.
I think that if Howard and Theodore Lydecker were around today, I think a shot like that would make them smile.
At Boss Film Studios, Thane Morris hopes to create another unforgettable explosion, this time for the movie Cliffhanger.
You're back at Cliffhanger, everybody. You thought we was done with Cliffhanger? Oh, you bet your sweet bippy we ain't.
Probably the most important single factor in miniature pyrotechnics. You need to have a pretty good knowledge of electronics, probably a better knowledge of electronics than you do explosives. Main power switch is in this mess here. You turn a switch on, that allows the power to the points. When the points are opened, it starts.
My dad never like exploded stuff like that or anything, but he could kind of do like little junky junk like this, like, putting together some switches and all this kind of crap. I feel like had he been in like California or something, he could have definitely been on cruise like this.
It's this clock counting. It counts a half a second, which is about 1/4 of the way down the cliff, and that gets it away from the camera, so it won't explode in the camera's face.
When the chopper hits the ground, a shock switch mounted to the model will trip. This triggers an electrical match, which lights the main fireball generator made up of 1.5 pounds of benzyl peroxide. 1/10 of a second later, 40 feet of primer cord laced around the...
All that primer cord over there, like it's because, we're looking in the 90s here and not like the 70s. At least nobody's smoking right now. Yeah. 1978, they might have been smoking.
The interior of the helicopter will ignite and cut the body apart. The benzyl peroxide bomb will make a gasoline-like orange and black fireball about 14 feet in diameter and 25 feet.
And I don't give a damn what anybody says. These CGI fireballs, they ain't the same, dude. There is an element that comes from like an explosion, from the smoke, from the fire. There's a realism to all of it because it is real. And as good as our mathematical equations and stuff have gotten, we ain't there yet.
Tall.
15 minutes. Yes. You can go up there, hook it up, turn on the switch, and get out.
Yes, that's why I asked for the wall at 3 o'clock.
Actor John Lithgow is visiting the set today. He plays the supervillain in Cliffhanger.
John Lithgow is picking up cocaine from a buddy he's got on the set here. Come on now.
And his character is piloting the doomed helicopter. Lithgow is naturally curious about how the explosive scene will look on film.
That would be me on set, though. I was an actor. I'd be like, what's the explosion? Whoops.
The bomb did not detonate. Thane must carefully remove it and prepare for another take.
The reason miniature pyrotechnics is more difficult than live action is you have so many small variables. You have a whole bunch of devices in the little helicopter that have to work exactly correctly. One step in this chain goes bad, and you've got to retake.
Listen, John Lithgow's a super villain because he's a super bad guy. That's all. And when you're going up against Stallone, because Stallone's so tiny, you make him look even bigger. So at like 6'2", John Lithgow looks like a real giant. So like that's kind of a superhero. Or villain, as it were.
John, 1, 2, 3, action. And Jeff is going to let it go.
There you go. That looked good. I like how somebody's car alarm's going off. That's awesome. They need the little boop, boop. I want to hear the chirp. Let us hear the chirp.
When you have a really complicated shot and you spent days fighting the gremlins.
When you spent days fighting these goddamn gremlins, I'll tell you what.
You finally got them all whipped, and it works well. It feels really nice to know that you
Joe Dante's were like, write that down, write that down.
Finally managed to beat all of the physical science laws and get the thing to work.
John Lithgow in one of his more difficult roles. This was a stretch for him, but he pulled it off.
It's a fiery performance. We'll be here all day. Look at that. Boom. That's pretty good.
Nice.
Great.
After Boss Film finishes the effects photography, director Rennie Harlan screens the footage for final approval.
After 3 hours of combing his hair, Rennie Harlan can now sit in the screening room.
What did you have there to do the fireball? Was that gasoline or?
Benzyl peroxide.
That's what I used to do my hair.
This man was already going to make the joke that I was about to make. Props to you, Rennie Harlan. Like every interview and stuff, Rennie seems like a very smart guy.
I'd like it to smash into the ground and then immediately just ignite.
You're thinking that there's too much smoke?
Yeah, it's instead of being a crisp, it hits. There's a moment and then it goes.
That was indeed the sound that they put in there. He goes. It's like, all right, gotcha.
In any film, the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. And what has to be accomplished is the whole climactic ending to the film. It's combining many elements shot over months in many locations. insert photography that was done on the stage in Rome. It's second unit pieces done on the cliff face in the Italian Alps. It's our miniature. It's a multitude of pieces that are stitched together into this mosaic, and it's going to be pretty incredible.
Great editing.
More than half a century ago, the Lydecker brothers refined the explosive secret of miniature movie magic. Today, the art of mini pyro is being propelled to new heights by modern-day masters like Thane Morris, Joe Viscoso, and the effects wizards at Boss Film Studios. So when the theater lights dim and the projector rolls, sit back and enjoy the thrill of bigger, better, and bolder baby blasts.
I'm out of here.
Come on now to the Baby Hell Blast. Oh yeah, another episode of Movie Magic is in the books here, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Bronson has been farting. Bronson's been farting hardcore over here, which means he may need to go out for a couple of minutes. So if you guys want to hang, maybe we can come back and do maybe one more of these. Or did you have? Well, see, I want to make sure. Here's the big thing, Trillion. What I want to make sure of when I say this is, I also want to make sure I'm not going against any copyright stuff. But I do know that the Movie Magic does set me free. You ain't gotta worry about that. Let me find a little waiting music here for you. We'll do this and come on back again. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Like and subscribing and all that kind of good stuff. We really appreciate it. Again, we'll be doing a live stream on Sunday where we'll be talking Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer in our Fantastic Four series, leading up to the Fantastic Four release in theaters at the end of the month. So we'll be checking out all of those. So go check out that show. And within that show as well, we'll also be doing a Dinger Zone episode live as well, where we'll be doing a full spoiler discussion on what do you call it? Fucking Superman. I feel like there's supposed to be another name other than just plainly Superman. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to leave you with this for a moment. Put up a little banner here. So everybody know we're gonna be back. I'm gonna go walk the dog because this farting is no bueno for me. And we'll see you in a couple of minutes. Oh my God. We'll be back. All right. Ooh, was it smooth? I don't know. All right. We back, everybody. No poop, just a pee. I hate his guts. I love him to death, but I hate his guts. He's a real piece of garbage, this dog. Sometimes we just want you to poop. All right. Let's do some stuff, guys. As always, like and subscribe if you haven't done that. Just be a big old dirty baby. Like and subscribe. We really appreciate that. Let's let me see something here, because now I'm curious. I'm always curious about this. Let me check. We're doing all right. All right, cool. Well, let's go, gang. What do I want the next episode to be? Let's see. Do we want to go matte painting or forced perspective, no CGI? Which one of those do we want to do? Get this bad boy up here. There it is. Matte painting? Yeah, I like that idea. All right, Movie Magic, episode 8. Matte painting, eh?
Earthquake has hit Los Angeles, and the city is in ruins.
Los Angeles.
Or is it? Actually, this devastated city...
Well, actually, this devastated city is in a sound studio in Burbank. You ever think about that?
...is the work of legendary matte painter Albert Whitlock.
Not like dinner and a show.
It may surprise you to learn just how many famous movie scenes were created by the fine artists of the effects world.
Fire all these bastards and put it into a computer, says I don't need any of this. Who wants this? Put it in a computer.
From ancient Rome to the planet Bajor to the Batcave, matte painting has for nearly a century been a widely used method
named after Matthew Painting
of depicting exotic locations. Today, we'll go behind the scenes on the bizarre comedy Addams Family Values and learn how some of the most
It's a bizarre comedy.
elaborate scenes in the movie.
And that's not just because Tim Burton's a producer.
Movies are literally works of art. Then we'll meet two matte painting legends and see how this technique was used.
Kind of a rip-off Chariots of Fire sound here in the background, isn't it?
To enhance such popular films as Gone with the Wind. Meet the Michelangelos of cinema on Movie Magic.
Come on down to the Michelangelo of Movie Magic. Pop Tart's ready.
In this scene from Gone with the Wind, few moviegoers realize that the panorama above Scarlett O'Hara is painted artwork.
I've seen this movie how many times? I don't think I remember that.
Many famous movie scenes are actually composed of handcrafted paintings. These picturesque renderings are known as matte paintings. The artist
They once were known as Greg paintings, but that guy became too much of an asshole, so we decided to go with Matt.
who make them are some of the most admired individuals in the effects world. Creating a matte shot involves painting a set or location which would be too expensive or even impossible to photograph live. One of the finest matte painters working today is Sid Dutton. He and his partner Bill Taylor run Illusion Arts, an effects studio in Los Angeles. This studio has created spectacular vistas. For Cape Fear,
man,
The Never-Ending Story 2,
well, it's the Never-Ending Story 2.
and this incredible long-distance pullback for the musical Newsies.
There's two factors for determining how much detail we put into a painting. One is how much the painting actually needs it. And sometimes wherever the attention of the...
Did this guy go to the what's his nuts? Did this guy go to the John Hughes Fashion School? Because it looks like he rated his wardrobe, right? Maybe this is just how every white guy looked in 1992.
Compositionist focus is where we put the most detail, where the actor might be walking. The second, of course, is time. If we don't have much time, we don't have much time. We have to go for the broader strokes and more impact. When you're in the front row of a theater and looking at the screen, you aren't really seeing a tremendous amount of detail. You're seeing blobs of color. So if you can emulate that by putting blobs of color on the right manner,
just blob it, baby,
then it will have a chance of looking more convincing. I've always called it photo impressionism. You're trying to give the impression of reality without all the detail you actually see.
Knowing just how much detail to include is a skill that few aspiring matte artists can master. So when Dutton discovered a gifted 23-year-old painter, he immediately put him to work.
Start drawing these lines, boy. I am tired of drawing the lines. You will draw the lines now. Draw the lines.
What impressed me about Robert Stromberg was that he was self-taught and had really developed.
Oh my God. On the canvas, not the lens of the camera, you friggin' psychopath.
To a great extent by himself. There's two types of matte painters, essentially. There's people who draw things out and fill them in. And there's paint pushers. That's what Robert does.
Robert's a bit of a paint pusher. You know how it is. They come in here with their brushes and their rollers. They're pushing paint.
Pushes paint and gets an effect by mushing paint around. And,
this son of a bitch is going around here mushing paint.
Seeing something in it.
I saw a cable special on matte paintings when I was about 12.
Hey everybody, this is my Michael Jackson brush. I saw one of these matte paintings when I was 12 and I was just like, Charlie Chaplin, you son of a bitch. You're just one of the greatest I ever seen. I had to do it after that, you know?
And I became interested and went out and bought a camera. Started doing glass shots out in the middle of a field somewhere.
And then we did some camera shots too.
It just kind of escalated, and by the time I was just graduating high school, I was offered my first shot for an actual film.
Today, Robert is starting work on a painting for the big screen version of Dennis the Menace.
Oh yeah, Dennis the Menace, as directed by Michael Myers himself.
It's far away enough where you can get away with it.
As the painting progresses,
I do little blobbies here and there. You know how it is.
Stromberg must rely on his color sense and keen eye for detail.
It's hard for me to enjoy
It's hard for me to enjoy painting. I'm doing it at work. I hate this. My mother told me to be an accountant. I really wish I would have, but son of a bee, I pick up a brush and I end up gold. I'd rather be doing numbers, so if I'm going to be honest.
Out in the country,
If I'm taking a drive, I spend more time figuring out how it was created and why the colors look the way they do, why the light's hitting it a certain way. You feel that you want to understand how it works. And
if you don't know, you just watch a couple episodes of Bob Ross and Robert, your mother's brother. Look at this fit. Look at the fit on this guy. Holy moly. We got these acid wash jeans here. You got this shirt that is like, we got rolled up just before the elbow. Perfect, because you don't want to get any art on that, but you still want to be warm enough, but don't want to be so warm that you're not going to unbutton that shirt. Just a couple of belts there, yeah? Not too shabby. This guy's got some shoulders on him, too. This guy's getting it done in 1992.
eventually you do. And coming in here, it's very easy because it's already painted in my head. I already see it finished. It's just a matter of actually going through the process.
What happens if you forget it, though? Then you're really out of luck.
Once the painting is completed, it is turned over to cinematographer Bill Taylor for filming. This is where the matte painting is brought to life. By carefully adding elements such as miniature...
This is what I always like, is when you had matte paintings and stuff like that, and you look at it and you're like, oh shit, look, a matte painting. And then like little things would start to move and you'd be like, hold on now, wait, what? Is this a matte painting? Like just that kind of great movie magic. And it gives you that sort of like almost weird surrealist kind of feeling and whatnot. It really works. It's super great.
Trees and a moving train. Taylor will add depth to this two-dimensional painting. A computer-controlled camera allows Bill to...
Look at that hair. Again, the fits here are immaculate. I got it. Let's see if we can see them pants.
To this two-dimensional painting.
Okay. I'm not crazy about the regular old chinos here. I don't know that that's going to be it, but we got our diver watch, so that's kind of all right. Our sleeves are not nearly as high as I feel like they should be, but these suspenders, however, woo, getting
computer-controlled.
Now, see, here's what you're not going to see is that this is a little bit more of a kind of a patterned shirt than one would suspect here right away. But we're not clashing patterns here either. But he's got another great thing because he's got his glasses case right there too. And again, we're going down. We're leaving those first two buttons open because, sun's out, baby.
Camera allows Bill to
look at the hair. God, I love it so much. He won't go up and he just looking good.
Precise movement to the shot.
The hardest thing in a shot that's pure painting or entirely artificial.
This guy looks like he eats corn on the cob for lunch. Just opens up a lunch pail. Corn. Is that a mean thing to say? I don't know. Maybe.
It's just making it look real. You have to be careful in a shot like this. You have to do a camera move that looks realistic, that looks like a kind of move that could actually be done in a movie.
After the painting is complete and photographed, it is edited into the film. If the matte painters have done their work well, movie audiences will never detect that the scene wasn't shot on location. Elements like a miniature train help audiences accept a two-dimensional painting as reality.
But they won't accept his father.
Employed by Matte Studios. Here at Matte World in Novato, California, a team of experts are shooting a rain element which will be added to a painting to simulate a dark, stormy night. What appears to be rain is actually baking soda, fed through a special sieve. A computer controls the rotation of the sieve, ensuring a consistent rain-like pattern.
See, this is the kind of stuff I like because, like, you feel like you know a whole bunch about a whole lot of filmmaking and stuff like that. And then you get weird little cool bits like this where you're like, yeah, no, not at all what you thought.
Cameraman Wade Childress shoots the rain element against a black background. Later, the black will be replaced optically with a shot of a matte painting. Another time-honored matte technique involves letting light pass through holes in the painting to simulate city lights.
We call this the Thomas Kincaid method.
Matte artist Michael Pangrazio is lighting up the city of Salem in this painting for Disney's Hocus Pocus.
We're putting dots of light in the city, and it's done by scratching through the front layer of paint, because this is painted on a pane of glass, and then it's backlit with an additional light.
I always like that kind of stuff right there, where it's like, oh, we'll just kind of we'll etch something in there, and then that itself is with the light coming back. Very cool.
And it pushes the exposure higher than white paint can give you by lighting what's behind it brighter.
So cool. Come on now.
Because they utilize timeless art tools and techniques, matte shots have a long and illustrious history in motion.
And it looks so good.
Pictures. Their use dates back to the silent.
Again, here we go, man. That great, fantastic bit of movie magic where they give you the backstory. Love it.
Era and such films as The Thief of Baghdad.
Which, by the way, if you've not seen this, it's been a long time since I've seen it and stuff. Some of these early silent films, like your Thief of Baghdad, of course, this stuff, all of your Trip to the Moon and all the what's his nuts. My brain's just kind of napping on me right now. But all of that kind of early silent film stuff, so good.
Matte World co-owner Craig Barron is a foremost historian on matte painting.
It's recognized among the people that I know that a gentleman named Norman O'Don is probably one of the first, if not the first, sort of father of matte paintings. And he used matte shots around the turn of the century. The first examples of this were what's called a glass shot. There's a camera set up with a piece of...
These were really, really cool shots. Chaplin did a good many of these for his movies and stuff like that. Everything from your Gold Rush to modern times and everything in between, really.
Glass that the camera is photographing through. And the matte artist actually paints on that piece of glass out on location. Now, the disadvantages to that are that the crew has to wait until the matte artist is finished doing that painting.
In 1911, Dawn developed an easier process called the latent image technique. News of this method spread across the Atlantic, where an English matte artist, Percy Pop Day, began to use it in 1914.
So now the glass is still out on location. You're photographing through the glass, but instead of a matte painting being there, it's just a black silhouette, so that when the camera photographs through that piece of glass, the exposure is held back. The information is then recorded later with the matte painting back at the studio.
In his 33-year career, Pop Day used the latent image process to create hundreds of matte shots in more than 45 films. His credits include the 1940 remake of The Thief of Baghdad, 60 Glorious Years, and The Mikado, for which Day created Japanese temples on a London soundstage.
So cool.
Once matte artists were able to paint in a studio instead of on location, the quality of the paintings improved immensely. In 1939, Gone with the Wind required more than 100 flawless matte paintings.
That's one of those things. I mean, save for one or two shots that I can kind of think of just off the top of my head, I don't really think about Gone with the Wind as being as matte painty as all of that. But I mean, it kind of makes sense. But again, you're also, if you're, into the story and whatnot, you don't think about it. But again, these guys were just kind of really pioneering and perfecting stuff. I mean, like I said, they were doing 1914, and we're up in the 40s and 50s and stuff, with some of these films leading all up into the 90s. So,
small army of painters, overseen by photographic effects supervisor Jack Cosgrove, was charged with bringing the Old South back to life. Nearly all of these matte paintings employed the latent image technique.
You wouldn't look at it and just be like, oh, what a special effect that is. But sheesh.
This spectacular Atlanta cityscape was created by filming a dirt road on the MGM backlot in Culver City, California, and then adding the painting later in the special effects studio.
Is it true the Yankees coming?
I'm afraid so, ma'am. The Army's pulling out.
Here's a film that is supposed to be taking place in the Civil War South. It was photographed, for the most part, in Culver City.
Culver City?
There are hundreds of matte paintings in that movie. Civil War
Some of
battlefields.
those are a little bit like that one, like shots like that. But again, they'll also put in kind of some moving elements and stuff like that. And again, that's that big brain thinking to we're doing literally. I mean, the name of the show is called Movie Magic, but it indeed was magic.
Terra, all these things were created with matte paintings.
With matte painting firmly established as an important visual effects medium, new masters of the craft began to emerge. Walt Disney admired the work Percy Day's stepson, Peter Ellenshaw, had done on Treasure Island. In 1948, Walt brought the Englishman to Hollywood to work full-time for Disney Studios.
He would always be telling people here that he had a young artist in England who'd worked on Treasure Island, and he made it so you didn't have to go to some island. He could make it look as though it's in the island by painting these things.
Ellenshaw became a valued member of the Disney team. In 1960, his stylized matte paintings of England won him an Academy Award for Mary Poppins.
Well, Mary Poppins was an exciting film, mainly because Walt Disney was involved from the very beginning. You didn't have to make it so real that it didn't look fanciful.
And that is one of the things about the matte paintings and stuff in Mary Poppins, and he's absolutely right, is that they're almost, I don't want to say surreal or anything, but they are like hyper. There's a hyper reality to them to a degree, like you see in this one. There's, a lot of stuff going on, smokestacks and stuff notwithstanding, but like just kind of how everything is kind of like a little bit blown out and stuff in the back, and it's got a very distinctive look to it.
It's a wonderful film. Everybody still loves it, don't they?
Yes, we do.
While he was at Disney, Ellenshaw began to work on his own paintings on the side. In 1987, he retired from the film business to pursue fine art. Peter occasionally emerges from retirement to help out his son Harrison, who heads up Disney's Buena Vista Visual Effects. The two painted side by side on the hit film Dick Tracy.
Get the hell out of here. We got CGI now. We don't need none of this. I mean, like, it's so sad when you just think of these, like, departments with all these old heads in here doing all this great stuff. And then, one day it's just called, all right, hit the bricks.
Visual effects. The two painted side by side on the hit film Dick Tracy. Meanwhile, one of Ellenshaw's former associates, Albert Whitlock, had also become recognized as a top matte artist.
And Whitlock be singing when he's painting. Boy, you see that? The last two times we've seen them, he's la da 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 da. He's turning into Robert Goulet.
Outstanding career at Universal Studios was highlighted by 2 Academy Awards and by his work with one of the world's greatest directors,
Stanley Kubrick.
Hitchcock, of course, was the outstanding director.
Oh,
in my
is that who that is? I'm sorry about that.
I had a special relationship with him. Now, of course, he was a master, unquestionably. And as far as match shots were concerned, and anything else for that matter, he always was able to tell you what he wanted, but why he wanted it.
Alfred Hitchcock asked for this painting from the birds to give a bird's-eye view of the chaos created by the film's airborne antagonists. To create the shot, Whitlock combined a live-action street scene.
See, this is the one that, like, these kind of, like, cutouts and stuff are the thing that make me go, like, huh? Just, they're like, all right, we want this bit, this bit, this bit, this bit, this bit.
With this painting, the addition of live birds resulted in one of the film's most memorable images.
One of his favorite expressions was, if you want to make a movie, you get 4 good scenes that the audience will remember later on. So then you just string it together with a bit of story.
Whitlock.
Yeah, that's how stories work. Yeah. That's like, The basics of it.
Whitlock continued to paint spectacular shots for Universal. In 1974, he was honored with an Academy Award for his paintings, which, combined with miniatures, portrayed the devastated Los Angeles in Earthquake.
I still loved the Earthquake ride the last time I went to Universal Studios Florida. Something about it. Something about kind of being in that thing. Because remember when, like, the original pitch of Universal Studios was Universal Studios, ride the movies. That's what you did. Like the King Kong ride, that felt like riding in a movie. That felt like you were riding in, like, you were in King Kong. Earthquake, it felt like you're riding on this subway and everything underground, and this earthquake happens. A street falls in on itself, a big giant tanker truck falls in, there's giant explosions, water and stuff everywhere. It made you feel like you were in the movie Earthquake. Like that's and again, the E.T. ride, you're riding the bike, you are in E.T. with E.T. Jaws, you are in the boat. Universal Studios, you ride the movies. Now it's just kind of like sit in this moving chair and watch this video with Jimmy Fallon as you're doing one of these. That ride's okay. It could be worse, I suppose, but could be better.
Albert Whitlock has consistently added a degree of realism to matte painting and special effects in general that wasn't there before he arrived on the scene. His work is truly flawless and wonderful to watch.
There is not anybody in this effects business or anything that is as dedicated in any way, shape, or form to buttoning that second button, boy. They letting them all know, hey, man, check out the chest hairs, baby.
Watch.
Albert Whitlock continued painting until his retirement in 1988. By that time, one of his former assistants, Sid Dutton, had firmly established himself as a top matte artist.
Okay, move the card, camera right.
Sid Dutton showed promise in the beginning. I mean, I could make jokes about having to whip him into shape, but I really didn't have to.
I can make jokes about him being an alcoholic, but I'm not going to. That's for the courts to decide.
I mean, of course, I owe everything to Al Whitlock. I mean, he taught me everything that I know about my craft. I did have a painting background, but I mean, it didn't do me any good for this particular craft.
At Paramount Studios in Hollywood, Albert Whitlock protégés Sid Dutton and Bill Taylor are working to create a matte shot for the comedy sequel Addams Family Values. Illusion Art's task is to turn a small section
remember when this was like the first thing that we saw
of exterior wall into a much larger view of the Addams ghoulish mansion.
Ghoulish.
You want me to look?
Sid works with effects supervisor Alan Monroe to create a low-angle shot of the Addams house from which the family nanny escapes on a line made of sheets.
Oh, sheet.
What we're really doing more than anything else is extending the set. Even though matte paintings cost a certain amount of money, it's still cheaper than trying to build that entire set.
And now CGI is even cheaper than that, so we do that. And what's going to be even cheaper than that? AI. And what's going to be even cheaper than that? Not doing movies.
That's our primary function, is to extend the set.
To achieve this effect, the filmmakers will shoot the live action now with a black mat masking the area that will contain the painting. The artwork will be done later at Illusion Arts Studio. The nanny, played by stuntwoman Joni Avery, works closely with the crew to verify the angle of the shot.
Secure the camera, lock it off, and take a look.
Once the angle is agreed upon, the camera is secured so it can't move between takes. Each take must be identical if the matte is to be perfectly blended into the live-action footage. The crew then creates the matte that will hold back the exposure for the area of the film in which the painting will appear.
Depending on where the matte is placed relative to the camera, the matte line can either be soft or out of focus, or it can be very hard and sharp.
What do you think he looks like when he puts when he takes off a baseball cap? You gonna get that ring?
To make it hard or sharp, the mat has to be far enough away
Hey, man, don't make fun of my inability to read. Come on now.
from the camera that it's in focus along with the other elements of the scene. Obviously, to make it out of focus, you just have to move the mat closer, and you can make it out of focus to any degree that you wish. You'd use a hard mat if you wanted to go around a sharp edge, like the edge of a building.
A black hood is then draped over the camera so that no light can pass between the camera and the mat.
No light
This
shall
ensures that
pass.
the area covered by the mat remains unexposed.
Yes, let's roll, please.
Action. 8-12.
The first several takes are ruined by either the nanny or the sheet passing over the edge of the mat line.
You suck, Nanny. You suck.
That's a cut.
Her fanny went into the mat line.
Fanny?
If any part of her body goes under the mat,
including the
that
fanny,
part of her body would disappear. Right there, you came out a little bit too far, and the rest.
Then you were fine.
And the rest of the climb, and the rest of the climb was perfect. You also sort of have to hood the face of the tower as you start to come down. As you come down more, you'll have more latitude to swing out.
Okay.
don't screw it up this time, all right?
Eventually, everyone is in sync and some good takes are photographed.
That's a cut.
Reload. We got a good one.
It's about time, Steve. That tepid ass clap is just let's get on to the next shot. Supposed to eat lunch 25 minutes ago.
But one good take is not enough. Since the latent image technique involves imprinting the painting directly on the live action shot, sometimes several takes can be ruined before the shot is perfect.
The good takes are broken down into separate rolls.
And the other ones are put in the freezer right here by the rest of these cheeses.
And they're stored in the freezer. When the painting is finished, we take the good take out of the freezer, thread it up into the camera, and expose the painting onto the good take, into that unexposed area that was left reserved, so to speak, by the man.
Isn't that rough, though, dude? Think about it. Just the fact that, like, you're waiting that long, you're putting it in the fridge, and you're just hoping everything's fine. You're going to, expose your other end of it and everything. And then when you do, you're crossing your fingers and hoping everything turns out right. As good as it is, man, there is something to be said about the loveliness of a computer.
When the filming is complete, Robert Stromberg is assigned the painting duties. Matte camera operator Mark Sawicki projects a single frame of the film onto a blank canvas, allowing Robert to sketch in the matte lines in pencil.
That's it. That's all I need.
The painting process involves adding the sky and the upper portion of the house up to the marked matte edges.
Okay.
It's still a little bit fuzzy.
Still a little fuzzy. I'm going to have to bring.
Yeah, what I think it is, it's on both sides. It should be a little bit thicker, this board.
Yeah, I think so too. This week.
When the painting is complete, Stromberg brings it to Sawicki to complete the shot.
This is the exact same film that was shot on location. So this has only the live action element. This has the nanny on it, and it has not been exposed.
To add motion to the painting, Sawicki will expose the film in such a way that the clouds appear to move across the screen.
What this mat's going to do is...
Again, just hoping you got everything right, because if you, do something a little bit wrong, everything's screwed, and you got to do it again.
Just reveal that...
And I don't mean just do that bit again. I mean do the whole thing again.
...area of the painting where the sky is.
He'll do this by creating a split, which is accomplished by exposing different portions of the painting in separate passes.
There's a mat in front of the lens that leaves only the top part of the painting exposed. If that painting is moved slowly as it's photographed, only in that top section, it will appear on the screen as though the clouds at the top of the frame are moving from one side to the other.
Matte technician Lynn Ledgerwood turns a small hand crank to move the painting. The process is precisely timed so that the clouds move as the nanny descends. As the final shot shows,
Crazy, man.
the moving clouds are a crucial element in blending the painting with the live-action shot. The overall effect makes the Addams house a spooky haunt from which a nanny would want to escape. While matte artists contribute to some of film's most memorable scenes, they will never achieve the prominence they deserve. For a very
That's a good thing, right? Ultimately, that's a good thing. You want that to be the thing that doesn't jump out to people. You want to be the thing that disappears, that doesn't see those special effects. And I think that's the problem that we have today with special effects, is that for the most part, we are just seeing them. Now, there's a lot that we don't see. I mean, take a David Fincher film. That's going to be chock-a-block full of special effects you didn't even see anywhere in there. There's so many that are in Zodiac that people are like, what? Like, yeah, that's a wild special effects heavy movie. You don't think about it because they're so good that you don't notice. And that's what you always hope.
simple reason.
They're trying very hard to be undetected. And the better they are at being undetected, then nobody will know about them.
I think the beauty of map work and the reason why it's lived right through into this very sophisticated era is because, as mathematicians would say, it's a wonderful equation. Piece of glass, some paint, and some film. And it's just
1 + 1 is 3,
common sense putting it together. I mean, really, it is.
Not too bad. Matte paintings are the ninja of film effect. That is absolutely correct. Yeah, boy. All right. Hell yeah. All right, shut up already. All right. Well, I think we've about done it. 212 all together, including a little dog walk break here and everything. But yeah, man, it's been a good one. So Matt, it's been nice hanging out, and obviously little people in and out all throughout the streams here and stuff. And what this is going to allow me to do, again, this is why I'm doing all this. So if anyone goes, "Hey Adam, why are you yapping on about all of this bull crap?" It's because ultimately I take this bull crap and then I cut it down to smaller bull crap, which ultimately acts as trailers for all this. So eventually someone, hopefully, fingers crossed, will end up back here for like the bigger show or some of my other videos and stuff like that. And again, that's all the plan. And all that starts with you liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, and all that kind of good stuff. We appreciate that from all of you fine folks. And you know what? I'm going to do it. Hold on. I'm going to put it in here because it need to be. Here it is before we get it out and everybody. And oh shit, hold on. Get the right one. There we go. Again, Patreon supporters, thank you all for making this happen and everything. Between you and the YouTube money and stuff, I don't want to say that I got no bills, but the bills are being paid at least a little bit, which is always nice. And again, those are always going to get bigger and better by you guys liking, subscribing, sharing this show and all that kind of good stuff, which I know you're doing. I know you're doing it. I know you are. At least the people that are still here. Yeah, man. Tomorrow, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. Am I going to stream tomorrow? I know what I need to do. I need to shoot some video for the subwoofer stuff. I've been I thought about doing some of that today, but I put it off just to make sure that I got all the exercise done. So I was able to do this for as long as I did this evening. So that's 10. And technically I could, well, no, wait. I don't know what days are anymore. It's Friday. Nah, they'd be closed anyways. Anywho, Thank you so much for hanging out. I want to hit this to make sure I can get the right things and leaving here. We're going to do this more as things go on. I just need to hit the right buttons. All right. So again, big giant thank you to everybody who liked, subscribed, who commented. I want to thank the bots over at Kick. We did have one person from Kick in the last show that was actually a real person. That was pretty awesome. I need to figure out some other things for as far as YouTube chat and stuff like that, but we'll figure all these things out. That's how it all goes. Big time, remember, Sunday. We'll be doing the Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer and the Dinger Zone with the spoiler edition of James Gunn's Superman. Should be an amazing time. And, the Superman videos are popping off right now. So that's, we got to strike while the iron is hot, baby. So that is it. And, let me hit on. So that is it, everybody. We will see you next time. Peace out.